Here are the 10 most wanted Mafia fugitives still at large. Welcome back, everybody, it's me. One of the most common questions I get asked is why they just kill the remaining members of the Bonanno crime family? Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking. You're like, well, what about the other 4 families? This list is not going to be confined to just the Bonanno family. I'm going over 10 of the most wanted Mafia fugitives that are still at large today, so let's go. Number 10, Michael Franzese. You might remember this guy from Goodfellas. He was the one that drove the truck in the Lufthansa heist. Well, in real life, Michael Franzese was an underboss with the Colombo crime family. He turned rat shortly after his son was arrested in a drug deal gone wrong, and he has been cooperating ever since. He testified against his former associates, including his old boss, Carmine Persico. Persico, by the way, is now deceased, and it was actually the last major mafia boss to die while incarcerated. But back to Franzese, he was sentenced to 10 years in prison. But because of all the info he gave up, he was released early and put into witness protection. According to the FBI, sometime in the mid-90s, he went rogue and stopped cooperating. They believe he went back to his old life of crime. There's even been reports that he's made several attempts at returning to the mob, which the FBI has thwarted. But as of right now, the FBI believes he is still out there living a life of crime. 9. Matthew Madonna. Matthew Madonna was an acting capo with the Gambino crime family, and he also served time with John Gotti in 2006. Madonna was charged with extortion, racketeering, and money laundering, and the government believed that he was running a major bookmaking operation out of Las Vegas. When he was arrested, he refused to cooperate, and he was sentenced to 17 years. But 2 years later, he was released early on the condition that he would cooperate with the government. Well, Madonna was supposed to testify against his former associates in 2010, but he vanished. The FBI searched for him for months, and they eventually found out that he had fled to Italy. To this day, he is still on the run, and the FBI believes he is still living in Italy. They've asked the Italian government to extradite him back to the United States so he can face the charges against him. But as of right now, it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. Number 8, Robert Fisher. Robert Fisher was a captain in the Lucchese crime family, and he was involved with loan sharking, extortion, and illegal gambling. In 1983, he was convicted on racketeering charges and sentenced to 5 years. In 1986, when he was up for parole, his request was denied because he refused to cooperate with the government. In 1990, he was caught up in a massive FBI wiretap investigation called Operation Falcon. During the investigation, authorities intercepted conversations where Fisher discussed murder plans and other illegal activities. A warrant was issued for his arrest, and he became a fugitive. In December of 1990, his body was found in the trunk of a car in Staten Island. Although he was officially listed as deceased, the Lucchese crime family insisted that he was still alive and well. To this day, nobody knows for sure what happened to Robert Fisher. Some believe that he is dead, but others think he is still hiding out somewhere. Number 7, Anthony Comello. Anthony Comello was a capo with the Genovese crime family, and he was arrested in 1999 on racketeering charges. While he was awaiting trial, he was caught on wiretap discussing illegal activities. One of the conversations, he actually admitted that he was a member of the Genovese crime family. He claimed that he was only involved in legitimate businesses, but authorities knew otherwise. They'd been watching him for years. In 2000, he was convicted in absentia and sentenced to 12 years. For the next 7 years, the FBI's top priority was to track down and arrest Anthony Colombo, but they were unsuccessful. Authorities did, however, arrest several of his relatives and have them serve time in prison in his place. But as of right now, he is still a fugitive, and he is still wanted by the FBI. Number 6, Thomas Burke. Thomas Burke was a captain in the Lucchese crime family, and he was arrested in 1990 on racketeering charges. He was known for being a violent man and had several murder attempts against him. When he was arrested, he refused to cooperate with the government, and he was sentenced to 14 years. But after serving only 3 years of that sentence, he was released on the condition that he would cooperate. Well, Burke refused to cooperate, and he became a fugitive. For the next 10 years, the FBI searched for Burke, but he was always one step ahead of them. He lived in several different states and even tried to get his own restaurant up and running. But in 2002, Burke was arrested and returned to prison to finish out his sentence. After he got out in 2008, he was put into witness protection and changed his name to Charles Bonk. Nobody knows where he is right now, but the FBI believes he is still out there, living under that alias. Number 5. Joseph Massino. Joseph Massino was the underboss with the Bonanno crime family, and he was a major player in the organization. He was involved in extortion, murder, and illegal gambling. In 2000, he was arrested and pleaded guilty to racketeering conspiracy. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison, but because of his cooperation, he was released early. Massino ended up testifying against several high-ranking members of the Bonanno crime family, including their boss, Philip Rusty Rustelli. But after Massino got out of prison, he once again went rogue, and the FBI believes that he is back with the Bonanno crime family. As of right now, he is still a fugitive and is wanted by the FBI. Number 4. Benjamin Cute. Benjamin Cute was a capo with the Bonanno crime family, and he was involved in illegal gambling and extortion. In 1998, he was arrested and pleaded guilty to racketeering charges. He was sentenced to 7 years in prison, but because of his cooperation, he was released early. In 2003, Cute became a star witness for the government and testified against several high-ranking members of the Bonanno crime family. It was during this time that he was given the name Billy Cheese by the media because of his tendency to avoid answering questions by saying, "I plead the fifth." Well, after his testimony, he was supposed to enter into witness protection. But he disappeared before the government could relocate him. The FBI tracked him down to Las Vegas, where he was living under the false identity of Benny Costanza. He was arrested, but he refused to cooperate. And to this day, he is still refusing to cooperate. He is currently serving 8 years in prison for contempt of court. But when he gets out, the FBI believes he will go right back to the Bonanno crime family. No. 3. Anthony Center. Anthony Center was a soldier in the Genovese crime family, and he was arrested in 2005 on racketeering charges. While awaiting trial, he violated his conditions of release and became a fugitive. In 2007, he was indicted for attempted murder after authorities uncovered a plot where he planned to have a witness killed in the upcoming trial. Since then, he has been on the run, and the FBI believes that he is still out there. Number 2. George Barada. George Barada was a capo in the Colombo crime family, and he was arrested in 2001 on racketeering charges. He refused to cooperate and was sentenced to 13 years in prison. Just 2 years into his sentence, he was released on the condition that he would cooperate. But Barada refused to cooperate and became a fugitive. The FBI searched everywhere for George Barada, but they couldn't find him. Eventually, they received an anonymous tip that he was living in North Carolina. They moved in and arrested him and threw him back in prison to finish out his sentence. But after getting out in 2011, he was supposed to enter witness protection. He disappeared before that could happen, and the FBI believes he is still out there. It's coming in at no one. We have Joseph Watts. Joseph Watts was a capo in the Lucchese crime family, and he was arrested in 2004. On racketeering charges, he refused to cooperate and was sentenced to 9 years in prison. After serving 3 years of that sentence, he was released on the condition that he would cooperate. But Watts refused to cooperate and became a fugitive. In 2012, he was finally captured and thrown back in prison. But after getting out in 2016, he was supposed to enter witness protection. Like several others on this list, he disappeared before that could happen, and the FBI believes he is still out there. Alright, everybody, that's all I got. Let me know in the comment section below if you think any of these guys are still out there, or if you think they re-all behind bars. So let me know which one of these guys would you want to see a full video on. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe here, I'd appreciate it. And you can always follow me on social media. I'll see you guys in the next video.